Hi Aries, this is your November 2023 spiritual reading. So I've pulled some energies for you guys. We have the desert, the shadow. We have number 6, shock of the new. Number 22, she feels, she knows. And we have Neptune, Pisces, and Gemini. So with the desert and shadow here, you guys are... Life is asking you to take time to connect with the divine. You're going on a solo journey, a solo spiritual journey. When I experienced my first spiritual awakening through a dark night of a soul, I started reading Carl Jung's Red Book, and I'd recommend, if you're interested, to get that book. There's so much wisdom and guidance in there, but he talks about his own journey through the desert, and it feels like this is where you guys are now. It's like the universe is removing external energies or pushing them away for now, because you're meant to be going on a solo journey. Now, this doesn't mean that you're going to be completely alone. In fact, like, if going back to Carl Jung, he talks about how during the day, he puts on the mask as Dr. Carl Jung, does his work, goes out, and then comes home at night and goes back on his journey, goes within, goes back to the desert. Then there's so much that will be revealed to you, so many beings and aspects of yourself that are going to present themselves to you in very mystical ways. And with the shadow being here, there's a lot of healing that needs to take place. And it feels like, again, when you're on that journey, these parts of your shadow will present themselves to you in physical form. And it feels like you're able to work through them and work with them and communicate with them and get a better understanding and create. The only thing you have to be mindful of is approaching everything on this journey with compassion. Know that there's no right or wrong. Your subconscious doesn't follow the laws, the man-made laws. It doesn't consider something good or bad. It just is what it is. And that's the approach. You really have to go into this very open-minded. But if you are finding yourself kind of feeling deserted by everyone, it's meant to be happening. There's a purpose for it. So again, with the Neptune and Pisces, this is a very mystical experience that you're going to be having, but also the Neptune in Pisces is about connecting to, again, divinity. It's about the 12th house. The ruler, Pisces rules the 12th house in Neptune. It's about disconnecting from this world in order to connect with the divine. In Joe Dispenza's meditations, he talks about becoming no one and no thing. That's the experience that you might be having. It's like kind of like you might feel very detached even from yourself. And again, you're not dissociating, or it's not something to be afraid of. It's all to get you to connect with the divine. The purpose is to get you to connect to something greater. But in order to do that, you have to leave yourself behind. You can even think of it as Inanna's descent to the underworld, where at every gate she had to remove you know, piece of clothing, piece of protection. Her friend that was with her, it's like she had to be completely bare to enter that underworld. And that's the same journey that you guys are going on. And it's interesting because we have shock of new and Gemini here. In her throat chakra, there's a Merkaba. There's, again, it feels like on this journey, the beauty of it is you're going to be communicating with different aspects of yourself. Again, whether it's through meditation, through your dreams, through just stillness, however it is that you can disconnect from this realm, parts of you are going to be taking physical form, and it's like you're going to be standing in front of them, able to communicate and ask them questions, ask them what they need, what they want, hear what they have to say. It just feels like you're going to be having some beautiful conversations that are going to be very shocking. That they're going to be very revealing. You're going to, it's going to surprise you how this process unfolds itself. And we have she feels, she knows. There's that sense of really going into this open-minded, with an open heart, allowing any emotions that come up to come up, allowing anything that is presenting itself to present itself, really just going with the flow and allowing this process to unfold before you. So let's pull some cards on this desert and shadow. We have the 9 of Swords. So you guys, there's this energy of being very anxious, and it's because it's like you're thinking about 100 things at once. You could be just sitting in your house where you're completely safe, everything's fine, but you're constantly thinking and worrying about a million different things, and you're making your nervous system go crazy and think that you're in danger when you're completely safe. And you're letting the external world consume you at this time. And it really feels like that's why you're really being asked to reconnect with the divine, to see something that will bring so much clarity and understanding for you. You're going to be seeing not only yourself and your life, but the world, the collective, from a higher perspective. That's going to change how you view everything. Honestly, you're going to gain a perspective that changes a lot of your beliefs, and a lot of once you come out of this, even if the world doesn't change, your response to it is completely different. We have the 7 of Pentacles. So again, there is that sense of you guys are kind of going through it right now, and we have a lot of planets and energies in Aries right now. So the universal energies are also adding to this intensity, but with the 9 of Swords, we have so much anxiety, and the 7 of Pentacles, it's like depression and sadness, just like loss of hope of like, what is this all for? Like, what are we doing? Whether it's on a personal level for you or a collective level, you're just like looking at everything and just wondering, like, why? What's the purpose? What's the point? And it's usually when we're at this place that, this triggers a dark night of a soul, or it triggers an awakening. And that's why, a lot of people, when, for example, like my own, before I experienced my first spiritual awakening, had I gone to a psychologist, they would have put me on antidepressants and anxiety medication. And I don't know what took over me, but instead of going externally for help, I literally just bought Carl Jung's book and again went on this journey with him. And you kind of realize this isn't anxiety or depression. It's a signal that you've moved too far away from your own light, right? We're all born with a light within us that we're meant to be following. And when we kind of move in a completely different direction for long enough, it starts getting dark and cold. And that's when the anxiety starts and the depression sets in. And so you guys have drifted a bit. And that's why this journey, you're being pushed into this journey to redirect you back to yourself. We have the Emperor. Yeah, your son, when you are in your power, when you're walking by your light, when you're at the center, living at the center of your being, living your purpose on the right path, you embody this Emperor energy. Aries represents the Emperor, this powerful, really in your power, able to navigate this world, able to make decisions, able to act. The Emperor isn't sitting there constantly anxious and worried. They're not sitting there depressed and giving up. They're taking action. They're doing what they can do. They're focused on a goal. And it feels like you guys aren't able to do that during this time. You've kind of, again, you've drifted in a different direction. And you're being led back. We have the Devil. This devil energy can be many, many things, right? It's a lot of it we might be witnessing in the world, but there's always that saying, in order to deal, Carl Jung's quote where he talks about in order to be able to deal with the darkness of the world, we have to know the darkness within us. And he also talks about how we'll never stop seeing destruction and violence and cruelty in the world until we go within and know ourselves and know our own shadow, so we bring it to light instead of constantly projecting it. And so it does feel like that's where the shadow energy comes in for you guys as well. But the devil can also be deception, very manipulative energies, intentionally trying to cause chaos and anxiety. And it feels like you've kind of fallen into that trap. And it's hard to get out of. And so that's why it feels like this, again, there's a big spiritual awakening getting triggered for you guys. And it's because you feel a little bit stuck in the webs of this devil. It's trapped you, and it's like you really need to just experience an intense shake and awakening in order to free you from it and to remind you of your power to free yourself. And to show, it's like you need to understand why you're in the trap, who entrapped you. There's a lot of answers that you need to find that you'll only be able to find within and connecting with your own higher self, with spirit, letting the answers come to you. And that's gonna require an inner journey. We have the Empress. Really connecting with the divine feminine. And the divine feminine, she knows that she's a magnet, right? And it really all goes back to, if you want to change the world, you change yourself. And when you're this Empress energy, you're attracting beauty and abundance and love and compassion. And you're also raising the collective. The higher that you rise, you will help raise the collective, and everyone you're around, your energy influences. And right now, if your energy is just anxiety and depression, that's what you're attracting into your own life. But also, the more we stay in that energy collectively, we all lower our frequency. And on that lower frequency, our reality isn't as enjoyable. There's a bit of kind of reconnecting with matriarchy instead of patriarchy, and being reminded that love is the only thing that can really save yourself and the world. With this Empress, there's also a sense of, again, when you are presented with your shadow and aspects of yourself, to approach it with compassion and understanding and a very maternal energy instead of judgment and fear and rejection. You guys are going through a lot, and it feels like it's because, again, you've strayed so far from your light that you're not, it's like there's chaos and you're getting lost in it. You're not able to see the divine order. You're not able to remember, your purpose, your destiny. You're not able to see the path forward. It's just like a storm. And when you're connected to your higher self, when you're connected to the universe, you're always able to have a higher perspective and a higher understanding and have guidance on how to navigate the storm. But again, when you stray so far off, it feels very like you're alone and there's no help. We have the Knight of Cups. Again, there's a sense of you need to bring love back into your life. There's a lot of anxiety and lack of love that you're focusing on right now. And again, it's hard to do. It's hard to, when you're in that place, like when you're trapped in the middle of a storm, it's hard to say, like, just focus on love and things you're grateful for. And so it doesn't feel like that's what you're being asked to do, but it does feel like once this journey starts for you, know that its purpose is to reconnect you with yourself. And again, there's this emphasis on opening up your heart, letting your heart heal. There's a lot of heart healing that's going to be happening for you. You guys could even look into the heart chakra and what, music, there's heart chakra music you could listen to, colors you could wear. You could wear more green, surround yourselves with green. Place your hand on your heart, really focus, do some heart healing, because there's a lot of emphasis on your heart and your emotions. not only for you to allow any emotions that need to come out, but also to walking this journey, to walk it with your heart and with compassion. But also a lot of the healing that's going to be taking place is centered around your heart. I kind of want to get more specific just so this can be more helpful. Again, the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups can even go back to childhood. How did you experience love? Was it unconditional? Was it conditioned? Did you feel safe? Did you feel, when we're children, right? We rely on our parents for survival. And so if our love is conditioned, then we feel like we have to take apart parts of ourselves that they don't like so we can survive and so we can be loved. And it feels like you're being asked to, all those parts that you ripped off of yourself and you buried deep in the shadow, now is the time to reconnect with them and give them the love that wasn't given to them as a child. Like, for example, for me, just if it would help, growing up, I was always told, you're too sensitive. Like, I was taken to 5-6 doctors because I would just cry if I would see a sad commercial, and I would cry if I saw an animal on the road. And so I really shut off my heart for a long time. And big part of my spiritual awakening was just kind of crying 24/7 and hugging myself and kind of apologizing to myself and allowing and honoring my sensitivities. And so for you, it could be different. It could be different for everyone, but it's the parts of yourself that you rejected or that was rejected from your parents. Now is the time for you to bring them back and love them and nurture them and accept them and know that they've always been a part of you. And they always will be a part of you. We have the 5 of Swords. So yeah, it's parts of yourself that you've left behind because you were told it was unacceptable. It was unlovable. It was not okay to act that way or do those things or think that way. All the parts that you kind of killed off and cut off from yourself left you fragmented. And it's like you cut off the most powerful divine parts of yourself, and that's why it's like you feel so disconnected. And again, this journey for you is about reconnecting. We have the Ace of Wands, getting your power back. If we break something apart, if like we cut off our arms because we're told it's bad, right? It takes away so much of our abilities. But when we're able to put it back on, then we're able to do so much more. We're able to grab things, write, paint. Like there's so much of your power that you've pushed away because it wasn't accepted, that now is about your journey. Now is about taking all that power back, and the way you take it back is with loving acceptance and giving it the love that it was denied. And with Gemini here again, it's like a lot of that for you will happen through conversations. Like these parts of you will show themselves, and you can, even if you know exactly what parts of you you've detached from, if you kind of sit in meditation and visualize those parts as a person and have that conversation, explain to them, you know, I didn't know, as a child, my brain was just trying to survive. And I'm sorry that I disconnected from you. I'm sorry that you felt unloved, but I love you. Give them that unconditional love. And this is and you might find that still when you do reintegrate these parts of yourself, people, especially the people who rejected them, might still tell you that's not okay, why are you doing this. You might face you might get a lot of unwanted opinions, and you might lose a lot of people, and a lot of your life might change because people don't accept those parts of you or don't like those parts of you, and that's okay. But your journey now, instead of fighting with yourself and being at war with yourself, it's about fighting for yourself. And if anyone, tries to hurt those parts of you again, you don't let them touch you. You don't let them into your life, let alone, cause you to disconnect from it again. It's really about being the warrior for yourself and becoming whole again. And if someone doesn't like it, someone can't stand your power, someone feels, for whatever reason, know that it's a reflection of them, that, they wish they could have the power and confidence to do what you're doing. Don't take anything personally. Know that your focus is you, and it's on becoming whole and healing what was broken, in your childhood, that you have to now put the pieces back together. We all do. We all experience some sort of trauma. We all had to learn to adjust ourselves to survive, but our duty as adults is to put ourselves back together and to become ourselves instead of, the creation of our upbringing, because that's not what we're meant to be. We're meant to be fully embodying our truest self. And for you, this time is all about reconnecting. And again, you'll be surprised of how mystical and how this process unfolds and how this healing happens. It's in a very creative way, but it's all meant to get you back together and to get you feeling empowered again. All right, Aries, I really hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful, and I love you guys. So I will see you guys next time.